Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to our channel, Faith and Love with Williams. I remain your host, William Michael Edo, and welcome to this segment where we're going to be sipping into the tea of what happened this weekend. Today, our topic is going to be reflecting on our celebrities, the Nigerian wife, daughter-in-law Porsha Williams, and her husband, Simon Guobadia. What went down? What led to the divorce that was shaking and was making waves in the internet this weekend? What happened and how did it go down? I want you to sit down, enjoy the ride as we delve into this story with so much juice. Remember, in 2022, Simon Guobadia, who was married to his beautiful wife then, filed for a divorce. His wife's name was Fallon, and Fallon was part of the cast of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if you must have seen already, remember Fallon was once the person who invited Porsha to her home to visit her resident while she was still married to Simon. And Porsha came with all the other girls. They were having this fun time in the pool while Simon was watching and enjoying the view and preparing how he's going to his next victim. Remember, Porsha is actually Simon's fourth wife. He's had previous 3 divorces. And when Porsha got there, they had this social distancing, giving this fist bump kind of thing. Until the point where Porsha became crazy, engaged. Right? You will just be imagining that somebody you invited to visit your home suddenly becomes engaged to your husband. Your husband, just after 2 weeks of divorcing. That is, these people hooked up. And they made the relationship public. After 2 weeks of divorce. Crazy, right? Yeah, it was so controversial that the whole media went hell on them. Everybody was raising red flags everywhere. There were so many red flags that people actually predicted this marriage wasn't going to last. Actually, if this is his 4th marriage and it's happening so fast, like dating, getting engaged, everything happening in a space of a month. That was crazy fast, right? Crazy fast. And everybody saw into it. But they showed so much confidence. They were so confident about the whole thing that Guobadia, after the divorce, said, clearly it's never too late to learn because an empty heart is even more of a greater burden. An empty heart, according to Guobadia, is a greater burden. And it's never too late to learn. And what better way than filling up the empty heart that was empty by a divorce with a new baby girl called Porsha. But how did this go? How did it sit? Actually, it didn't sit well. After a year and a half of togetherness, and people were not Simon having it. So Guobadia Simon needed to come and clarify the air. So in April 22, 2021, Simon came and said this. He wrote this. After a year and a half together, Flynn and I have made the mutual decision to end our marriage. Despite our willingness to be transparent, we respectfully ask for privacy at this time. Thank you. Simon Guobadia, the Odogu one. They know how to package this English. Make it be like say divorce the sweet. Make it be like say easy to divorce. But I tell you, it's not. And the internet was not still having the in-laws. The in-laws. Now we're not still having it. And because of that, Porsha came to clarify. Porsha came to clarify and she said, our relationship began a month ago. Yes, we are crazy in love. Our baby girl, madly in love. The madness only lasted for 15 months. I know it's fast, but we are living life each day to its fullest. I choose happiness every morning and every night. I head for honey service sweet. Turning out all negative energy and only focus on positive wishes. He makes me so happy. And to me, that is what matters the most. Sister. For all of you that need facts, I get the optics but Simon filed for a divorce from a previous marriage in January. I had nothing to do with their divorce filing. That's between the two of them. Flynn and I are not friends. Sister, you are so quick to deny somebody that just invited you into their house. Seriously. And Simon's divorce has been settled. Oh, our relationship is a positive, loving step forward in everybody's lives. Simon and Dennis are committed to being respectful and supportive of my decisions. Sister. And Simon. And Simon, these people were not holding back. My love for you, Porsha, has not diminished one bit. Even with all the criticism, Simon is like, baby girl, I love you to the moon and back. And I'm ready to die for you. You know, the first marriage didn't work. The second didn't work. The third didn't work. Now he has finally found his niche. And he's ready to die. It has grown exponentially. That means he just did, BAM! The love, it just explode. But my brother, the explosion didn't last. So. It didn't last. Why now? Why? Upon the exponential level of the growth in the love. What happened exactly? After the exponential growth, Porsha still came and said, I was turning 40. This was all to quell in a bit to shut down all the noisemakers. I was turning 40. I was hitting my 10th year mark on the show. This is when she decided to resign because she was running away from people poking in or asking her questions or giving her backlash. So she decided to step down from the show to also push Simon to prepare a prenup that would be favorable for her. So she came and said, I was turning 40 because there was no explanation for leaving the show. So she said, I was turning 40. I was hitting my 10-year mark on the show. And I really just had to recess where I was and what I wanted totally out of my life. So that's where that decision came from. So our sister was explaining to us that the reason why she decided to leave the show, to go and focus on her marriage to Simon, is because she was reaching 40. And the only focus she had in her head at this moment was to gather the entire energy and focus on somebody's husband. You understand? Somebody's husband that they were having something to do. Because you cannot tell me that 2 weeks after the man just signed divorce, you people just experienced this exponential love that led to an engagement a month after. So many red flags, so many of them, but that is actually none of our business, because at the end of the day, our sister, we had exponential loving affair with Simon, led to a very beautiful, incredible marriage. But before it led to the marriage, you know, the social media family will always carry their eyeglass and zoom in and zoom and zoom. And in one of those Zoom meetings, our brother Simon made a statement. Where I come from, there is nothing abnormal about having different women. Remember, Simon's grandfather had 25 wives. And his father had 2 wives. So for him to have been divorcing and divorcing, you know, in America, that kind of lifestyle is not accepted. But our Nigerian brother from Benin, he has the habit of having many wives. And Porsha also having the habit of divorcing because of many of lies and a cheating boyfriend. Refused to see the red flags. Please, why did she refuse to see the red flags? Was it because it was a cashier? Please, it's allegedly. I don't mean it. But like we all know, our brother comes from a polygamous background, and he was not going to back down from it. He was not going to change because he was marrying an American. No. So they had this exorbitant, flamboyant wedding. See decoration, see wedding gown, see venue now. It happened in Nigeria during the weekend, and in the US, they had 2 weddings. That means they got married here with all the owambe, the flamboyant ashwebis, the cake, everything traditional Nigerian wedding. No, we have signature. Before they now went to Oyibo and did this wonderful white wedding in a church. She was very spiritual at that moment. It was on Times Magazine, People's Magazine, New York Daily, everywhere. She was all over the place, her 7 wedding dresses, changing from this to that, made so much fashion statements. Porsha's marriage was the talk of the town. It was like a fairy tale wedding. Porsha Williams' stunning wedding gown to Guobadia. Everybody was talking about it. Yet, we kept on drinking our tea and expecting to hear the news that it's gonna fall apart. And of course, it didn't disappoint. Because after the flamboyantness, like I always say on my channel, It is not the wedding that is the problem. It is the marriage. But you know how it is. People don't always tell the truth. Usually we have these expectations of them and they go back home and they are struggling to make ends meet. You see the wife is struggling, but they can't actually tell the truth. But guess what? The expectations of the righteous was never cut off because soon they were on the news. Where do Porsha and Simon stand today? Porsha reveals she and Simon are no longer on speaking terms. Boom! So the news came. For me and our relationship, I used to pride myself on us having great communication, she admitted. And when communication started to lack, it felt intentional. Simon intentionally wanted to break it because he's a man that cannot deal with handling one woman. They are polygamous in nature. Porsha claims she attempted to reach out to Simon just 2 weeks before filming into an effort to find some peace, but Simon doesn't want to communicate at all. I've just given up on that part. Porsha cried. So now I have to become the person he's saying. Now I have to be cold. I have to just move forward into the court process. Communication broke everything. Porsha wanted to talk. Porsha wanted to snoop. Porsha wanted to be in everything Simon does. But a typical Nigerian man, no, they want me woman, they put nose for him matter. A typical polygamist, no go want me mind your business. But a typical Nigerian man, so they like me woman, they put matter for your business. Why you go marry an American woman? Well, say their character na to this, they put matter. To put nose for your matter. My divorce from Simon, I haven't dealt with the emotional part yet. Porsha said, obviously, they will have this emotional way of expressing their emotions, especially on the media. I've had to deal with logistics. It's really weird. It feels really cold. It's cold. Suddenly breaking up from somebody you said you were crazy about. Actually, it was God made. God just dropped this man into your lap, as you said in one of your shows. And suddenly you have to deal with breaking up with this person. That is crazy. And that was so fast. 15 months after that, all that exquisite and flamboyant and exorbitant marriage is crazy. So I go back to saying people don't spend time. We don't invest time in planning the marriage. We invest time in planning the wedding, which is actually a problem. Statistics from psychonet.com talks about personality traits that a human brain has 4 systems. We have the dopamine, the serotonin, the testosterone, and the estrogen. And somebody that has a history of divorce, always divorcing, lives with the dopamine traits. Yes, Simon's brain does not know how to be put in a space, a confined space for a long time. And having that confined space, living in that space with somebody that wants to mind his business is a little bit suffocating and it becomes toxic. This is a typical Nigerian man we are talking about. And this American woman was snooping and the man wasn't finding it funny. But sir, please come back home. There are women home. Come back home. Come back. We'll receive you. Porsha went ahead to say in her frustration and in the process of divorcing her husband that what led to the final straw that scattered the whole marriage. In quotes, it was the betrayal of what I thought we had. Yeah, she explained. I really thought we were the best communicators with each other. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that he had bombed me and was taking it back. A love bomb. The relationship just happened, boom, and a month after everything was engagement, marriage, and So our relationship had kind of swapped over. And I just realized I needed more. People always need more. So be careful who you are thinking of making this thing with. And I think women should be able to stand up and say, I need more. More truth, more this, more that, more blinks. She didn't mention it too, I'm just adding. And a whole lot of other things. Sister Porsha. The Rolls Royce was not enough. The mansion with the swimming pool was not enough. Phelan's husband was not enough. The space was not enough. Simon was becoming insufficient. You get? So she just wanted more. For me and our relationship, I used to pride myself on us having great communication. You know, people that live for the camera, they talk a lot. She has always been on air, talking. My divorce from Simon, I haven't dealt with the emotional part yet. Like I said, you can't divorce and think you can just move on. It's hard. It's hard. It's very hard. You can't just break up and think you can just move on suddenly. No. If you're moving on, that means there's a problem somewhere. There are issues. They broke up and she's still having to deal with it, even though dealing with it is part of getting Simon's wealth, like half of it. Don't forget that I mentioned her leaving the show, and reason she put forth for leaving the show was because she wanted to come back and take care of Simon. Or was it because she was actually escaping from the scrutiny of her crew members or of the people of the house, the other wives? Was it because of that scrutiny that she left? And suddenly when she realized that Simon does not really need taking care of, she had to run back to the show to see how, she can get something else to take care of while walking towards having half of Simon's property. Remember, there was a prenuptial agreement. Simon signed that prenup because he was expecting her to leave the show. Yeah. But she didn't leave. And he brought it up in court as a reason why the marriage broke, and as a reason why the court should not adopt that prenup. But the court said, no, we're going to adopt it. Please, so, there is also a story allegedly that 2 weeks after the divorce, Porsha and Simon were official, which means during that week of the divorce, Porsha reached out to Simon, but she didn't see any reason to reach out to the woman who invited her to her house, which was Simon's house then when he was still married to his third wife. And after sliding into his DM, that is how they kick off. So please, Simon's DM is open. You can slide into it, and there is still more to get. And it leads us back to, please, why Simon's DM is still there for you to slide in? Because the divorce is officially over and Porsha actually won. Let's ask Panet, sir. I beg no vex, sir. Please, how do you manage it? Sir, how do you run this matter? Because we have been trying to, manage this thing. This man keeps divorcing. Simon keeps divorcing. Now, your Nigerian brother, sir, I beg, advise him. Teach him how you do run now. Because 6 wives, and there is still peace in your home with those fleet of children. Sir, I cut calf for you. You're too much. Because I don't understand how you manage this thing. 6 wives. And please don't forget, our brother Ned is a seasoned barrister. So he understands that there is nothing like prenup. It doesn't exist where he is. So we go the customary way. The customary way, you go home with what the husband gives you. You will not drag him to court and begin to drag property now. In children plenty now. You can still decide and say, okay, for all my 23 or 21 children, everybody goes home with something. And whatever is remaining, the small that is remaining, you as the mother, you benefit from your children. So whatever he gives every child is what you go home with, except the customary law of that place says otherwise. So. But because Panet too, they get sense, he already knows that it will be an error for you to contract an American woman. We went divorce, just do PM, they go collect everything. Coming back to our girl Porsha. During the weekend, the news broke. Sister Porsha, after dragging since 2024, February, because that's when the marriage broke. The news, Daily Post dropped. Nigerian businessman, Simon Guobadia loses prenup battle to Porsha Williams. Let me remind you that the payment is getting up to like 100 million, because it is not just the $40,000 he has to pay her for 15 months. Please, it's not just that. Remember the third wife, they only shared about 150,000. The babe was not fast. Porsha is a businesswoman now, and she entered into this marriage as a businesswoman that she is. And she prepared everything. So Porsha finally won the divorce settlement case. And guess what? She took over the mansion, and she can sell it at any time. And the guy will Simon has to pay her debts. will be paying her 40,000 for the next 15 months. She will keep the Rolls Royce that was given to her as a gift when, Sugar Daddy gave her a gift when he was still married to his third wife. Please don't forget that too. And she gets to keep that car. She gets to go away with settlement ranging up to like $100 million. This is crazy because the guy's company is at the mercy of Porsha, aside from the money. And this was done through a Zoom meeting because our brother Simon, our Dogu brother, was deported by ICE. Donald Trump's program somehow caught up with him and he was deported. And he looks as if to be a target. So the divorce was settled through Zoom meeting. Our brother is currently in Nigeria. And it as I always say, divorce will end up so bitter and annoying. And Simon, after the divorce, he went to his social media platform. If you are behind Porsha filing for divorce, please step up and own her mental state of mind. See, like I always say, divorce is always brutal. And you see people that said, God just dropped this person in between their legs. As in, God just dropped him. They start fighting and calling themselves names. This was posted on Reddit. This is crazy. And they are fighting and posting. And let me tell you something. Our man was not finding this easy. And allegedly, he's been alleged that he was trying to get connection to see Trump, to see how his deportation will be stopped so that he can stay there to fight. And guess what? All his investments are in the United States. Some people are wondering that you marrying an illegal immigrant, will it affect your marital status? No, it doesn't affect it. The marriage is legit, even though the person immigrated illegally into America. So automatically, this person stays married to you. And whatever thing you contracted with this person stays legit and legitimate. So actually, Porsha was legitimately married to Simon. And she will own everything. And God forbid Simon doesn't go back. This will be crazy. I know his legal team will be there working to make sure that most of his assets are secured and protected. But even with that, this girl won big. She planned the journey all along. 3 wives. And none of his divorce has been this messy. He has always known how to put things together. But it's unfortunate that she met this woman that is super wise. And he been married 3 times. This was Porsha's second marriage. The first marriage lasted just for a year. So it's practically like 2 crazy people that came together. It's very funny. And I will go back to say, the worst thing that can happen to you actually is a divorce. Please try not to divorce. And please, don't just jump into things. It's unfortunate that we look at most of these celebrities, we take them to be our role models. They are not. We look at billionaires to be our role models. They are not. They know nothing about what it takes to keep a home. They know nothing about what it takes to build a solid marriage. They have no idea what it takes. So let them not be your role model. The only role model you have is the very reason for marriage in the Bible. The very reason why that very, how can I put it? Administration was created. Why that very office, or how can I put it? There's a way I used to call it. I've forgotten. There's one essence for which God created it. Do you understand me? That was God's own first office, marriage, God's own first administration. If you fail at home, you cannot succeed as a business person. No matter how successful you are, that foundation of that business, some people succeed actually for the time being. But if you are bad at home, even though you succeed in the office, you're not succeeding because you're keeping good relationship. You're succeeding because you're working with a set of people that are ready to be subjected to whatever thing you put them in. True. They are ready to bow down to whatever authoritarian rule you're giving them. It's not because they actually enjoy working with you. It's just because they don't have a choice. So please, if some of these celebrities and these Owambes are the reason for your being, and you think as a man, you can just marry women and divorce them, you go meet the one where you go cut your neck. And as a woman, If you think you will just find love because money gives you satisfaction, remember, like Porsha, you will soon realize that there's no satisfaction anymore. A man talks to you more when he wants to get you. You need to know that. And once he gets you, he's going to reduce the conversation. And women, I don't understand why you can't get that. Get it into your head. Men have so much conversation with you because there is something they want to achieve. Men treat women as business. They will go for it, negotiate until they get it. When they get it, they own it and they dominate and they take charge of it. So some women are not just ready to be taken charge of, like our sister Porsha. So they quickly move out. And when they are wise and sharp and the system favors them, like the American system, they'll take everything away from you. And this is a lesson to our brothers out there. Please, we have beautiful women back in Africa. And we have customary laws that actually protect you and protect your property. So be mindful how you choose and choose wisely. To my brother Porsha and, to my brother Simeon and Porsha, I wish you well in your subsequent endeavors. You won, sister. Enjoy. Until we meet again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Leave your comments in the comment section below as usual so that we can discuss about it. Thank you, ciao.